Okay, so we're going to do something a little different today. We're diving into a document that most people would probably just gloss over, the meeting minutes of a volunteer firefighters association. And trust me, hidden inside all the formal language and committee reports, there is an incredible story about community, about sacrifice, and about the quiet, crucial work that keeps us all safe.
So get this. This is one of the very first things written down in the meeting. It's not about budgets, it's not about equipment. It's a moment of silence for a man named Robert McCall, who they call their departed brother. Right there, that one sentence, it tells you everything. This is so much more than an administrative record. It's the logbook of a family.
All right, so here's our game plan for unpacking this. First, we're going to dig into that deep sense of community. Then, we'll look at how they're literally building for the future. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of what it takes to keep this whole thing running. And finally, we'll connect all these dots to the unsung heroes in all of our communities.
So first up, what's at the heart of the Cambria County Regional Firefighters Association? It's not just a duty to show up when the alarm goes off. It's this profound commitment they have to each other. And you can see that everything they do is built on this foundation of service and, well, brotherhood.
Think about that for a second. Before they even talk about business, before any motions are made, they pause. They start with a prayer and then a formal resolution to honor one of their own who passed away. It just sets the tone, right? This one act grounds everything that's about to happen in the very real sacrifices these volunteers are willing to make. Okay, but this meeting wasn't all about looking back and honoring the past. It was also absolutely packed with some seriously exciting news about the future and about making sure the next generation of firefighters has everything they need to be the best. Whoa, okay, $100,000. You see a number like that pop up in the notes for a volunteer group, and you gotta ask, what on earth is that for? For an organization like this, that is a massive, massive amount of money. And here's the answer. This is where you really see them planning for what's next. That money is a capital grant from the State Fire Commissioner's Office, and its purpose? To build a brand new, state-of-the-art training classroom. This isn't just a room with some chairs. This is a total game changer for how they train and certify their members. So you might be thinking, okay, a new classroom, cool, but why is it so critical right now? Well, buried in the minutes is this really interesting problem they're facing. Apparently, there are some big certification changes coming down the pike that could force their younger firefighters, some as young as 14, to have to completely redo their training. So by getting this grant and finishing their new training tower, they're getting way ahead of the curve. They're making sure everyone, young and old, has what they need to stay certified and stay safe.
All right, so a brand new, state-of-the-art facility is amazing, right? But who keeps the lights on? Now we're going to pivot to the stuff that isn't as glamorous, but is absolutely essential. This is the behind-the-scenes administrative work, and let me tell you, this is where the details make all the difference. First off, let's just wrap our heads around the sheer size of this operation. We're not talking about a small club here. This association covers 75 different fire companies and, get this, 1,587 individual members. I mean, that's a huge number of people and departments, all relying on this one central organization to run smoothly. And this table is it's a perfect little snapshot of their day-to-day. I love this, because on one end of the spectrum, you've got this tiny, practical decision, hey, let's buy a webcam for under $100 so our Zoom meetings are better. And then, boom, right next to it, a massive win. The Tower Planning Committee is being disbanded. Why? Because their huge project, the new training tower, is done. It's finished, and it's in service. It just shows you the incredible range of what they manage, from the tiniest details to the biggest milestones. You know, you read through these minutes, and you see all this formal language, right? Motion made, motion seconded, vote passed. But here's what that actually means in the real world. It's super simple. A member, Charles Whitley, needs a letter of recommendation. So another member makes a formal request. Someone else says, yep, I support that. And then they all vote. It's just a simple, democratic way to help one of their own move forward. Okay, so we've seen the sense of brotherhood, we've seen the big plans for the future, and we've gotten into the weeds of the administrative stuff. So let's pull back and ask the big question. Why does any of this quiet, methodical work matter so much to every single one of us? What really stands out is how much time they spend just taking care of their people. This isn't just about maintaining trucks. They're actively working on recruiting new members and keeping the ones they have. They're bringing in outside experts to talk about crucial health topics like cardiovascular screening, and they're making sure that people who do great work actually get nominated for awards. They know their most important asset isn't the trucks or the buildings. It's the firefighters themselves. It really makes you stop and think, right? Next time you hear a siren off in the distance, what does it actually take to make that happen? What's the real, honest work going on behind the flashing lights and the heroic images we see on TV? And the answer, the real answer, is this. It's all of this. It takes the tedious work of filling out grant applications. It takes long debates about the future of training. It takes this simple, decent act of voting to give a guy a letter of recommendation. It's not just about the heroes you see on the news. It's about a whole community of them, doing the quiet, patient work one motion at a time to keep us all safe.